Good morning, folks. Welcome back to my channel. It's Ann here. Today is April 30th, 2025, and this is my third video of my new channel. Um, I don't know if any of you have seen the others. Well, I talk like I have a lot of subscribers, but it's so new that I don't. I actually got one subscriber yesterday. So that made me happy. At least one person might be watching my videos. But even if I don't get a lot of subscribers, this is going to be a good thing for me to look back on and to help motivate myself and just documenting my journey. So, but I hope to get some subscribers and hope to be able to help people. We'll just have to see how it goes. But I have to tell you what happened to me. Now, I've been doing so good on my low carb slash keto ketovore diet. I've been doing pretty good for the last month. I haven't really had any cheat days, and I've been motivated and I've been feeling better. And so, what happened to me yesterday was after I had that little walk up in the cemetery, I had to go meet my brother at McDonald's for breakfast. We meet on Tuesdays and have breakfast together. And for the longest time, I only ate one slice of bread with the egg, cheese, sausage, and McMuffins. Two of them. They come two for $5. And so I was only eating one slice of bread. Well, yesterday I took a fork with me because I decided I'm not even going to have one slice of bread. So I took the eggs off the rolls and I put them on the paper there, the wrapping, and I ate the 2 eggs and the 2 round sausages and the cheese that was on it. And I thought, and my brother's sitting there, and he's a diabetic too, and he's done real good. He lost a lot of weight. He's been doing very well. He's an inspiration, he looks so much better and he's doing well. But and he's doing low carb too, so I don't think he's really getting into the ketovore aspect of it all, but he has cut down. He will only eat the one slice of bread on his sandwiches. So anyway, so that's how I had my breakfast. Now, after I left him, I had to go up to my camp up on a mountain. I've been doing little projects up there. I've been trying to get organized. I have to do some painting. And so I get up there, and most of the time I have things in the refrigerator up there, but I can't for the life of me remember, when I go up there, what's there. I don't know. I'm going to have to start taking pictures of my refrigerator. But so anyway, I get up there, and all I had was a couple of sauce. What kind of? They weren't sausages. They were um like a hot dog. They were. They were more like a hot dog, and I only had 2 of them, and I didn't have eggs. I didn't have anything like that, so I ate that, and I did have a piece of cheese with it. Well, by 2 o'clock, I felt like I didn't have enough on my stomach. I was starting to not feel good. And so I had those 4 slices of bread, those 4 muffin buns. I took them with me. I was going to throw them in my freezer. So in the rare event I need them, I have them. Well, I needed it. And I ate one of them. And I felt good for a little while. And then I decided, well, I got to get out of here and I got to go shopping and get some food. I got to have the right food up here. So I was headed back down to my apartment. And as I was going, I had another slice of the bun. I had another piece of it. That's 2 pieces. And I don't know if you saw the video where I said that once I spike my blood sugar, then the game is on. Well, after my second slice of bread, the game was on. This is how my sick, addicted mind works. So all the way down, it's like a 20-minute drive from the mountain back down to the area where my apartment is. And all the way down, I'm thinking, you know, And you already cheated today. You already cheated with those 2 pieces of bread. Now, mind you, my blood sugar is spiked, so I'm not thinking rationally. So all the way down for 20 minutes, I'm thinking, if you already cheated today, you should cheat for the rest of the day because you really haven't had a cheat day. You've been doing pretty good. And you can get it all out of your system today, being that you already ruined the day with your 2 slices of bread. So, I mean, one part of me was saying, don't do it, don't do it. The other part was saying, do it, get it out of your system. You can't be good all the time. And you know how we play games with ourselves with these, should I or shouldn't I? And then I started thinking, well, what should I cheat with? I would love to have some potato chips and dip, or maybe a piece of pie. Maybe I should stop and get some Chinese food. What about KFC? And I had all these different ideas going through my head. And that is what happens when you do not have your blood sugar in check. That is how it happens with me. I'm not thinking rationally. I'm not in control. The carbs have totally taken over my thought process. And the one thing I did realize is I got to make sure that I have the food with me that I'm going to need at all times, no matter where I am. Now, I try to do that, but it didn't work out well yesterday. So what ended up happening, and I pat myself on the back this morning, but I could kick myself in the rear end for yesterday. So what ended up happening was I stopped at Aldi's because that's where I've started shopping. I could find some good organic food in there and everything, and the price is reasonable. So I do a lot of shopping at Aldi's. And I got the necessary food that I need, and I bought a family-size bag of potato chips. And I thought, well, I'm not going to eat a big dinner. I'll have the potato chips and the dip for my dinner. And so that's what I did. I got my eggs. I got everything that I needed to continue on my journey. I got everything. I still knew I was going to be on my journey. I wasn't giving up, but I was going to cheat for the rest of the day because I'd already cheated. So I get home, and it's getting a little late, and make myself a half of the sour cream with some of the dip, the ranch dip that comes in the package. You mix it all up. And I sat there and I ate the potato chips. Now, I got halfway through that family-sized bag and I stopped. That was enough. And normally, back in the day, I could go through a whole bag of potato chips. So I stopped. I sealed it all up. I put a rubber band around it and put it on top of my refrigerator, thinking, well, I'll have that tomorrow. And then I'm thinking, well, there you go. Then I'm going to be all messed up again tomorrow, because I got to finish those potato chips. So then I have 2 days that I'm cheating on this diet. And so I tell you, I stopped eating then. It was getting late. I went to bed at about 10 o'clock last night, and I tossed and turned. I did not sleep well. I woke up at about 2:30 in the morning, wide awake, thinking, oh, man, now you got to eat the potato chips. 2:30 in the morning. I'm thinking about this. I can't get back to sleep. So I finally do fall asleep. And I got up this morning. I did sleep in. I was able to sleep in. Normally I'm up very early, like between 6 and 7, but I was able to sleep in until about 8. So I feel pretty good as far as that goes. But during the night, I also have to mention that I'm just checking the camera. I also have to mention that I had hip pain, leg pain, pains in my different spots, as I was laying there awake. I felt, man, I just don't feel well. Different spots would get pain here and there, and My legs felt exhausted, and I thought, no, that's from those potato chips. I knew it. I knew that was from the potato chips. So what I did, one second. What I did, folks, when I woke up at just about 8 o'clock, I went directly into the kitchen and I took those potato chips from on top of the refrigerator and I dumped them into the garbage. And that was the end of that. All that mental fight that was going on inside my brain was done, finished. The potato chips are gone. So like I said, I pat myself on the back because I did that. And I pat myself on the back because I only ate half of that bag. But I don't like that I got out of control like that. I'm new on this thing here, and I got a long ways to go. But doing what I did, I think it's in the positive direction. Because back in the day, let me tell you, back in the day, if I would have stopped for the Chinese food, I would have paid almost $30 worth of Chinese food because I like to get the house fried rice with the chicken wings, and then I like to have dim sums or the shrimp bread. I like all that stuff, and that's how I used to do it. And not only would I do that back in the day, but I would also get those potato chips and dip. And I'd eat my Chinese food relatively early, and within a couple of hours, I'd be able to eat those potato chips sitting there watching TV all night or until 10. 10 o'clock's usually my bedtime. But I really have got to. This was the learning lesson, and I know it. I knew it because I always carry something in case I have a sugar low. I'm diabetic. And I knew it, but I thought I had more food up there at the camp, and I did not. And I did have a couple of cans. I had some chili in the cabinet, and some of the Oriental soup that I like to keep on hand, or I used to like to keep on hand, the little packages of Oriental soup. I used to eat that a lot, the sugar and everything. I mean, not the sugar, but the salt and everything in that. And I didn't want to eat any of that. So I had these little links it wasn't actually hot dogs. It was like a sausage link, like a kielbasa link. Can't think of the name. I think all that sugar from yesterday screwed up my thought process. But that's what it was, and it was two of them and a piece of cheese. So it wasn't enough. I should have had, now on my diet, I would have had, when I do go up there, I'll have eggs and pieces of meat like that. And that I'll bring from home a lot of times. I'll bring things up there. I just started going up because I haven't been going up that often because it's been cold and I didn't even have my water turned on. So, just making sure the camera is still rolling because I don't want to be sitting here talking to myself for too long. So anyway, folks, it's like I said, it's such a slow process. But all these little problems that you come across on the way, you just got to find a way to correct it. And I am not going to let that happen again. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm never going to have a cheat day or I'm never going to have something that I shouldn't have because I'm sure that I will. But I still don't want to go into that state where I'm totally out of control. And there was nothing I could do about it on the drive back down off the mountain. My brain was just, I laugh about it now, but, it really is not funny because my life depends on this. I can't eat all that sugar. I can't do that anymore, It's very serious. I've had ailments, I got problems, and I have to be serious about this. It's not a joke. I'm 68 years old, so I don't want to end up in a wheelchair or I don't want to end up in a nursing home. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there because I see you out there. I see you out there, and I'm sure you see me. We're struggling. We're all struggling, those of us that are overweight, women and men. It's an awful struggle. We're supposed to grow old gracefully and not have all these problems. If we ate the right way, we'd be able to do that. We'd be able to do that. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm not out walking the trail or up the cemetery today. And it was because my legs hurt last night. And I thought I better take a rest today and not do the walking. So I do have, this is what I do on the days that I'm not walking. If you could see it here. I have one of these, can you see it? I have a Life Pearl vibrator that, here, let me see. Let me see if I can show you. I'm trying to line the camera up. Let's see. Turn it on. And I put my legs up there. Like that. I'm sorry, folks. I want to show you this. Now, I'm not affiliated with anything. I'm not going to get money. I'm not trying to advertise it. But that's what I do. And I do it while I'm sitting down. And I do it on the very lowest speed that I can do it on, because I'm afraid I don't want to have a blood clot loosen, or I don't have a history of blood clots, but I'm sorry about my fat legs. Now, my legs have always been relatively thin, but there's a lot of cellulite and fat pockets and everything. But most of my weight, folks, I'm going to turn this off for now because I'm going to do it a little later. That's what I do. I'm trying to do on the days that I'm not out walking, because I want to loosen up my lymph nodes. And I think it does it. When I get off of that, I get on there for about 10 minutes sitting down like that. And when I get off of it, my legs feel so much better. And so that's what I'm trying to do. It's supposed to loosen up your lymph nodes and get your circulation flowing and everything. So, and I think it does work. I think it's good. But I'm just not ready to stand on it. Now, if I stood on it, my whole body would be getting it. But I'm not ready to do that. I don't want to do that just yet. Even when I do my little dumbbells, I sit down and do them. I got such a long way to go. And having those cheat days, it's not good for me. It's not good for me. I have a choice. Do I want to have a quality of life? We all have that choice. Or do we want to let this food and this poison get the best of us? I don't think I'd sit there and drink a glass of poison. But when we eat this garbage, that's exactly what we're doing. We're consuming poison. The seed oils, all those chemicals that they put into that processed food. That's our human body is not meant to process that kind of stuff. No wonder people have kidney problems and diabetes and heart disease and everything. That stuff is not meant to process well in your body. It destroys your body. It makes you feel bad. You don't have energy. Your thought process, you get depressed because you're not capable of going out there and enjoying your life. You're sitting on a recliner watching TV and watching shows where other people are out there. I'd like to turn on the reality shows about them hiking through the woods. I was doing that off and on for a long time because I couldn't get out there and hike. And I read somewhere that if you watch that your muscles in your body actually respond to that as if you're out there walking. Oh my God. But I do enjoy that. I do enjoy those shows. It's so peaceful and serene. I went on one virtual walk down the Grand Canyon. It's on YouTube. You could find them. And I just bought myself a nice Roku TV. So I do watch those every now and then. It's like you're right there. I turn all the lights out at night, and it's like I'm right there hiking down the Grand Canyon or walking through the forest or walking by waterfalls. It's just so relaxing. You know, they say stress will kill you. And I think I like to watch those because I'm into a lot of crime shows during the day too, if I'm watching TV. I do watch a lot of crime shows, and that causes stress. So before I go to bed at night, I like to watch shows like that where it's peaceful setting. Before I close my eyes and go to sleep, I like to get that crime shows out of my system and have something peaceful like that at night. Um, so anyway, folks, if you stayed this long and you heard my ranting and you heard about my failure, well, I hope you don't judge me too much. I hope you will, you know, understand how that all happened. I know whoever is watching this kind of video probably has the same similar problems. I would love to hear you tell me some of your little problems, how you managed to get over those times when you just want to eat something good. But anyway, folks, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.